Hello, everyone, and welcome to Video Game Shark Tank. Pitch your dream game here at PAX Online. I'm Rebekah Valentine, I'm senior staff writer at GamesIndustry.biz. I'm one of your co-hosts tonight, joined by Eric Van Allen, for USGamer. Hi, Eric.
Hi, Reb. How you doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing okay. We got tons of Shark Tank panel pitches. We got tons of sharks here. So how about we go around and introduce all of our panelists real quick?
We're gonna. So we have gotten together a panel of 4 games industry sharks, people who listen to game pitches as part of their jobs to hear your ridiculous game ideas and tell you if they think they have any merit. So we are joined by Shane Bierwith, EVP of Global Marketing at Maximum Games and Modus Games. Hi, Shane. How's it going?
Hi, good. I'm glad to be here. Second time in a row. I was going to say second year, but technically it hasn't been a year yet since PAX East. So good to be back.
That's right. Shane
yes, I'm actually an ancient soul. Yes.
Yeah, Shane's a veteran of this. Shane was on our panel when we did this at PAX East, actually, earlier this year. We have Kramer, PR marketing and production for Finji, and a million other roles if you want to plug those as well. Hi, Felix.
No, I'm good. I do some stuff. It's pretty cool. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. First time for me.
Glad you're here. Anya Combs, Director of Games Outreach for Kickstarter. What's up, Anya?
Hi. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited. It's very interesting to come at this from a Kickstarter angle, so I will hopefully bring the crowdfunding expertise to terrible game ideas.
You're gonna be fantastic. And finally, we have JM Specht, who told me when I asked him that his job title was Executive Director of Counterintelligence Operations at Devolver Digital.
That's correct, Rebekah. Executive Director of Counterintelligence Operations at Devolver Digital Entertainment, a subsidiary of Fort Parker's Illegal Happy Fun Time Cayman Island Offshore Holdings, #crimes. And it's a wonderful marketing opportunity to be here with you today.
You're going to be great on this panel.
Thanks a lot.
All right, welcome to you all. Thank you so much for being here. So over the past week, Eric and I have been soliciting video game pitches via Google form from anyone on the internet who wanted to pitch a game idea to these sharks. We're going to present these pitches. The panel's going to take a few minutes to give some feedback and let you all know what they think. Would like to submit a game idea to the sharks and have not already done so, please go go to the official PAX Online Discord channel. I believe there should be a link in Twitch chat somewhere if you're not in there already. And feel free to drop your ideas in it's Stream One Horse Theater channel under streaming theaters. We'll be monitoring chat during this panel, and we'll pull a few of our favorite suggestions from the chat to give to the sharks near the end of the panel. So feel free to just drop them in there, and we'll keep that. One final note, even though these sharks are real people who hear real pitches for their real jobs, this panel is 100% just for fun. No one's getting a game funded or published or backed or anything else based on this panel. Do not bother these people for money or support for your game, even if they say they think your idea for a My Little Pony Battle Royale with a Toys to Life tie-in is sort of neat. So, with all that out of the way, Eric, do you mind giving our panelists their first pitch?
I would love to. And we're going to start with Calvin, who comes in here with a pitch saying, "You're a bird who skates, which means you go downhill to build up speed, then literally go flying off ramps. In this collect-a-thon 3D platformer, you'll look for lava lamps that have phoenixes trapped inside them while dodging cops and military. The game would have 4 levels, a city overrun by cops, a beach with an amusement park and a corrupt navy, a jungle surrounding an abandoned highway clover." A highway clover. Yeah, I know what that is. I'm a human. And to climb up a volcano that has a secret government base inside of it. The city is very dense and mostly downhill. The cops are emus on segways, and there's a boss cul-de-sac with the deputy, who's a cassowary on a scooter and is using the lava lamp as police lights. The beach has 2 main areas, the boardwalk and the ocean with the navy. Along the boardwalk, you can play mini games that involve flying to get lava lamps, and you can grind on the rails of a roller coaster. When you venture out into the ocean, you've got to be prepared to fight back against the navy, which is all penguins. The jungle is lonely but calming. This level would see you building up tons of speed and doing big jumps to get lava lamps perched on cliffs and in trees. The volcano is a tough climb, lots of falling platforms. Once you get to the top, you jump in, you find a bunch of government tech. As you step on it, it falls into the lava below and makes it rise. Climb out of the volcano by jumping on monitors and pipes while the lava's chasing you. If you make it out, you see the volcano erupt, and you have to bomb down the side of the volcano with a wave of lava chasing after you. It's a no name put here for this, but it seems like generally a bird skateboarding game.
Skatebird?
You know,
Let's take
Bird skate. Yeah.
Skatebird, auto,
skate.
Bird
assassin.
skate, volcano, lava.
Great.
Lamp.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes complete sense.
Right.
Just,
Totally.
I think Calvin definitely does enough drugs to make video games, so I think he's on the right path there.
Not that we're advocating for anyone to.
No, I'm not advocating drugs. I'm just saying that
They just make you popular and creative.
That's right. He's got a creative mind, Calvin. So stick with it.
Yeah, I like the final boss. I'm big on the final boss being a level, as opposed to like I was kind of expecting like, oh, because we were escalating a little bit with the birds and then the emus and then the cassowary, which is obviously an incredibly powerful foe in every life, including skateboarding bird life. But the final level being a level, final boss being a level was very cool. Love the lava.
Yeah.
Love the jumping. Can you not fly though? Is that like a thing? Are you a bird that just like you flightless? Is that like
I saw no mention of flight.
It says you literally fly off the ramps, don't you? At the very beginning.
You got to build up speed.
Okay.
Does that count?
So maybe you
as flight?
glide.
So like glide bird.
Well, I have some questions about, if I heard correctly, it's 4 levels, but every level is downhill.
It seems that way, but it also seems you are climbing up a volcano using the forward momentum. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm concerned, Calvin. I'd like for you to look into physics, just like as a concept. I'm very concerned about that. I actually like the idea of the whole game being downhill. There's a lot of Flash games that were like that, like skiing Flash games, if anybody remembers that. It's kind of, it harkens a little bit back to that. I do feel like this game may have come to fruition by refrigerator word art, just like those magnets, just kind of throwing them and like kind of figuring out what's stuck. And I fully support that as a way to be a game designer, quite honestly. I kind of love it.
I love the diversity of birds. It's an ostentatious choice that Calvin has made. We go from ostriches to cassowaries to penguins. There's a lot of flightless birds in there, an entire navy of penguins. I'm a little concerned about the so I get the idea of grinding in an amusement park, grinding across a roller coaster. I'm not sure about like doing a kickflip off of a penguin's head. I find that personally offensive. But I can see where they're going with it, and it's really thrilling. Honestly, I thought this was supposed to be bad pitches, and this sounds like what the French call a dope-ass game.
Right, yeah.
I think you might actually be disappointed if you're expecting only bad pitches, because some of these are pretty good.
Yeah? Well, switch.
I would play this game. Like 4 levels, it seems like it would be kind of a fast experience. You get to the volcano and you're like, yeah, this all checks out, me going downhill to go to a volcano. No questions there. I just have some questions about getting into the water. So is it 4 levels to get into the water, or what? That I'm a little bit confused by.
No clue.
But we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Sorry, I don't know why I posed that. It's like, obviously you all know the answer.
You were interested. You heard
Secretly,
water.
I'm Calvin.
I'm interested in. Was there something about a cul-de-sac in there? Like at one point,
Culver.
you just end up in like a suburb, like cul-de-sac, and
There's a boss
where does
fight
that
in a
fit in?
cul-de-sac with the deputy, who is a cassowary on a scooter and is using the lava lamp as police lights.
Yeah. Okay.
The lava lamps that have the phoenixes trapped on its
Correct.
job
Yes.
to rescue the phoenixes.
Right. And what happens when you have to rescue all of the phoenixes, and then how does that come back to like what's
The game starts over.
I
the
get
Phoenix
the
is your
joke.
XP? Yeah.
I get
Right.
the joke.
That's good.
Got it. Solid.
Well, it's funded, Calvin.
Fund it.
Reb, how about you take the next one?
Absolutely. This is from Blue Sun Hired Gun. Uncivilized is a turn-based 4X strategy game in reverse. The beginning of time, civilization gets every edge in resources, warfare, science, and more. Its biggest advantage is that every decision is managed by a deity-level AI that, left unchecked, would conquer your neighbors, establish a cultural hegemony over the world, and take your civilization to the stars. So what's the problem? As a disaffected citizen and malcontent, you don't want your civilization to prosper. Quite the opposite. In Uncivilized, your role is to hinder your own civilization by fomenting unrest, demolishing city improvements, leaking scientific secrets to other civilizations, and anything else you could think of to slow down progress long enough for one of the other world powers to achieve victory. Start a workers' revolt and halt production of the Great Pyramids. Create a schism in the state religion. Goad your military forces into a costly, world-spanning war. Start a panic on the stock market. Encourage distrust in a population's own leaders. In Uncivilized, the world is yours to ruin. Thank you, Blue
Fuck
Sun
yeah.
Hired Gun.
It's like a, I was gonna try to say like it's a reverse power fantasy. No, it's just power fantasy.
Yeah.
Just straight up.
Everyone
power
wants to
fantasy.
always destroy everything. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
There aren't enough games designed specifically to appeal to iconoclasts, so that is really thrilling. I really dig that.
This oh, sorry, JM.
No, I was gonna just start hating on civilization. So
Right, checks out. I feel like, so this kind of reminds me of, there's an episode of Parks and Recreation where Leslie she's part of the model UN, and April decides that the moon is her country. And I feel like this might have been modeled after that a little bit, which is an incredible episode, by the way. It's really key. Also, Andy just wants to take, I believe it's all of the lions from everyone's country.
Yeah.
That's his move, which is kind of a great idea. I feel, this game was called Uncivilized, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Great. I'm glad that it was not called fascism, which is sort of what they're discussing. I don't think I like this game. I don't think I would. I'll be honest.
Too real?
How you
Too
really
close to
feel.
home?
It's a little too close to
Stop playing
home.
this game.
I think I would start it up, cry, and then remove myself from civilization because it's too real.
I mean, yeah.
Is it also
I think
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, despite personal feelings, I think there'd actually be a market for this game. I do like the idea of kind of the reverse civ, but from a game development standpoint, it does sound really complex. There's a lot of stuff interplaying, and I hope this developer has some serious chops or previous experience, because this is going to be a very, very complex game to make.
Yeah. What's the win state and the fail state, right? Like that would be I'm so curious to find out more about this game. So you got me hooked. That's a good thing when you're pitching, at least, or asking questions. But the fail state being civilization succeeds and everything's good, quote unquote. And the success state, win state being, I'm not sure what the end game looks like. Do I want to know what the end game looks like? Maybe I don't want to know what the end game looks like. Maybe that's,
It's just a perpetual state of trying to make things chaotic.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
there's like a chaos meter. Yeah.
I think the fail state is if the civilization gets off the planet and then colonizes another planet.
Oh.
So it's kind of a Kurt Vonnegut, I want every planet in the universe to be inhabited with life the same way I want everybody to have athlete's foot kind of notion. It's, I don't want humanity to spread. I don't want the plague that is us to reach the stars or anything like that.
I'm so sorry. Why athlete's foot? Need to touch on that for a minute.
I guess it's the notion that life is like a fungus, like life on planets is like fungus on feet.
Okay.
It's part of my new rap album.
No,
I mean,
I love all your singles, so I'm so excited for this mixtape.
No.
And I think the win state is that another civilization gets the edge on your civilization and wipes them out and takes them over.
Okay, so you would screw it. Oh, we could swear. Sorry, you've talked about things enough that sorry, I forgot that I was like trying to search for a different word other than fuck with things. Sorry, I apologize that my brain is not eloquent enough for that. But that another civilization would come in as opposed to you leave. That you would get colonized by another civilization.
Yeah, like Russia and China and France dividing the United States up in 2025.
Yeah. That seems to be what they are suggesting, because it sounds it's a turn-based 4X strategy game in reverse. Yeah. So the idea being that you have a deity level AI that
Got
is
it.
trying to conquer all your neighbors, and you're actively fighting against that deity. I think that's what they are suggesting.
I like it. I'm on
Are
board.
are we maybe looking at this from the wrong perspective? From what I mean by that is, like, I understand how the game is being, but like, who are we to decide what is correct in terms of living, right? Like, isn't that the whole point of colonization, is that you're like, no, I'm saying that my way is better. Like, that's actually kind of interesting to explore.
I'm on board. I love it.
All right, I'm sold now. This is now my game.
Full spin,
I'm
180. We've got there.
Sign it.
I'm still stuck on foot fungus.
Yeah.
I think we all are, Shane.
Just pee on your feet. It'll be fine.
Isn't that a jellyfish thing? I didn't know that worked for acid.
No, don't pee on a jellyfish thing. It's
Sorry.
bad. It
Doesn't
makes
work
it
on
worse.
jellyfish. Yeah.
I'm sure everything.
Friends
What?
lied to us all.
Let's keep it moving with another pitch, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eric, all yours.
This one comes from Sam. He says, this game puts you in the heart of fright-filled, blood-curdling, bone-chilling inventory management. This is a horror puzzle game where the computer controls the actions of your hero as they fight for survival in a zombie outbreak. As the hero explores treacherous, blood environments, it is up to the player to sort through their inventory in real time as they collect piles of junk. Combine helpful items like herbs, medical supplies, and weapons to keep the hero going while throwing out useless things like needles and threads. Did I actually need it for later? Who knows? Time is of the essence as your items. As the hero progresses in the game, their path can split based on what is in their inventory at crucial moments. Combining a lighter and aerosol can will clear out a cobweb-filled path, while investigating a paperweight you picked up might reveal a hidden key. A messy inventory will have your hero walking in circles, so act fast and stay organized. Expect Dead Weight to release on all consoles in 20XX. Wow, they had a name. They pitched a name.
Wait, that's a great name.
Great
Yeah.
name.
Dead
I
Weight.
think this is just like Extreme Wally.
Extreme, but is it like
What?
Extreme Wally with the X? Just like
Yes.
Extreme Wally?
But
Yeah.
like a big X and then a little
Yeah,
X and then
yeah.
Wally and then a little X and a big X.
Mm.
Like the Pixar movie?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
I thought there was a game named Wally that was different. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I just don't understand how the zombie, like, I feel like you can't just drop zombie apocalypse and then just leave that. Like, it has to come back in some sense, right? Because it just sort of feels a little like, I feel like it's trying to explain why you're maybe alone in this environment, but I don't know if zombie apocalypse is maybe the correct way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I feel a little disappointed by this pitch because the opening paragraph made me think that it was going to be. I guess I feel like a lot of horror games are like inventory management and what inventory you have. And
Right.
sorry, telling me to throw away a needle and thread and then keep a lighter and an aerosol can as being more useful in a long-term zombie apocalypse situation means you're not really thinking ahead. But the opening paragraph about inventory management, I really thought, as someone who's worked in retail in my life, that it was going to be just a horror game about organizing shelves and putting shit back in place and like organizing a shelf and like getting all the products faced. And then some lady just comes and like grabs it off the shelf and you just put it there and you don't have another one and your manager's going to come by any minute now. And so I don't know. It doesn't sound, yeah, I don't know.
You would have rather had it been Amazon Stock Manager?
Yeah, like you gotta time your pee breaks because Amazon doesn't let you fucking pee
or else
anymore.
Jeff Bezos comes with like a sledgehammer and right. I mean, so just being real with this one, if it's just inventory management, I think you're gonna have a little bit of trouble with your people, attracting a big audience. You might get 10 people, 20 people, but it's gonna be a tough sell from a marketing standpoint.
Unless it was like an endless clicker.
I mean, sure. Yeah. Even still, I think you're gonna have trouble with marketing this one.
Yeah, I actually at IndieCade a couple years ago, I played a office worker LARP.
See that?
Whew, it was very stressful. Phones were going off. Like I had to write stuff down. I had to talk to my manager. I was like, I don't like this game. It's too real. It's too much.
Are you sure you didn't just like accidentally get a job for like half a day and then in Culver City?
Out.
Yeah.
You know, Felix, it wouldn't be the first time.
Right.
Oh shit, I got a job.
I have to abstain from this one, having helped publish Wilmot's Warehouse, which is the non-horror version of this. So,
I wonder
but
when that
needless
was
to
finally
say,
gonna happen. I wonder when someone was finally going to pitch something that someone on the panel had worked on in some way.
Needless to say, I believe in it though. So
that probably means you got some good perspective to share, though. But okay.
I think the horror version of it actually is the only complaint we get about, Wilmot's, which is when it gets scary and or stressful, people tend to back out. So they have successfully pitched the only mechanic of the game that I don't support, unfortunately. So that's my perspective. But you have a good core and you've ruined it. That's all.
All right, Rab, I think we should keep it moving with another pitch.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right. This is from David Mertz, called The Last Flower, a spelunking game inspired by Spider-Man and Attack on Titan. You play as a mother/wife who is forced to take one of her husband's inventions, totally not a 3D motion system, into a dark network of caves to find a crystallized flower used to cure her husband and son of a deadly disease. While there, each night, a denizen of the cave visits her in her dreams to dishearten and discourage her from continuing deeper into the cave. The dark denizen impedes the woman's progress with cave-ins, monsters, mazes, and psychological warfare. Meanwhile, the woman proceeds with the motivator of saving her family by finding the cure for their disease. Gameplay involves using the motion system to move through the caves like Spider-Man moves through New York, tackling puzzles and using technology to defeat the obstacles in front of you, up until the meeting with the denizen. Or to defeat the obstacles in front of you up until the meeting with the denizen. The Dark Denizen is the final optional boss where you can either make a deal with him or fight him over the crystal flower. The decision affects whether you leave the cave peacefully and easily or have to go through another ordeal of navigating out during a collapse. Thank you, David Mertz.
So maybe I missed this. Is this like a roguelite, or did he say?
I think it's Spider-Man, like smart Spider-Man. What year was that? 2018. Like recent Sony on PS4
so we're
Spider-Man
like
mechanics.
3D, okay.
Like moving through caves like Spider-Man. That's what I got from this.
See, I was picturing this as like a 2D or 2.5D kind of puzzle platformer, side-scrolling type thing. But
yeah, the opening says you play as the mother wife who's forced to take one of her husband's inventions, totally not a 3D motion system, into a dark network of caves. So I think the implication here is like, in the same way that in Breath of the Wild, the Sheikah slate was kind of like a Nintendo Switch, the character has a 3D motion system that is like giving her these abilities that you then use. I think that's what's going on here.
Sounds cool as fuck. I think that sounds great. Sorry. It sounds like there's some attention to like the notion of having it be largely psychological torment that the nemesis is inflicting on the main character. If it's done well, I think can be really exciting and thrilling. I think it's an ostentatious choice. There are, I mean, that you're looking for a flower to cure your family. The character is well motivated. I mean, it sounds like there's thought behind it and kind of a weird environment to be going through a psychological thing, but I think that can often be the most impactful way to deal with kind of deeper psychological issues, is to take kind of the physical metaphor and get a little more cartoony with it almost. I'm hot for it.
I agree. I like it too. I think it's interesting. I think it's well thought out. There's clear motivation, and I think that, like Jan was saying, there could be some really fun gameplay mechanics. You could play around with that whole kind of mental aspect, and I think it's interesting. I'm still trying to understand what exactly the gameplay loop is and what the game looks like, but I think from a conceit standpoint, it sounds interesting.
I really like the idea of it being. I have a tough time because I keep imagining exactly Spider-Man, but also caves, which immediately limits the space over and over and over again. So I keep, but the idea of it being like a third-person puzzle game where you're increasingly going deeper into caves is obviously, like Jam said, the sort of metaphor, and it's neat to see it play out. I want to know what the denizens, like, are there other inhabitants in these caves? That is definitely, I want weird cave creatures. I want weird cave fungus to come back to fungus. Bring me more fungus, thank you. Not on my feet, no. But in general, I like the idea. I think it's like too well thought out for this panel. I think it's very good.
It's too well thought out.
I tried to discourage on Twitter. Someone asked me how they could protect their game ideas if they pitched them to this panel. I told them that if they were worried about their game idea being protected, they should not be pitching it to this panel.
Yeah, no.
Don't pitch it where people read it out loud.
No.
Yeah. I feel like there is a timeline where this game is an allegory of being a bored housewife. And that's really just sort of what the exploration is. And I actually think there's something really interesting there where it's like you're kind of dealing with your inner turmoil and your inner demons just sort of being manifested in a cave.
Babadook Cave.
Yeah, Babadook Cave.
Sorry.
I like
spoilers, I guess, for Babadook, but yeah.
If you haven't seen it by now, come on.
Thematic spoilers.
That's sort of like, do you know what happened in Wrath of Khan? Like, okay.
Right, yeah.
Khan got real mad.
Same thing.
Same timeline, yeah. So the same amount of time has passed. Yeah, agreed. Really good, solid.
David Mertz, consider making this game if you have the ability and time to do that, I guess.
Does this one have a title?
The Last Flower.
Yeah.
The Last Flower. Yeah.
That's a great title. I like that.
Good video game name.
Eric?
Shall we take it away with another one? Yeah, this one comes from Anonymous. This has no name. They would not put a name on their submission.
I've heard of this one.
Or they're the Riddler because it's just a bunch of question marks. So from the Riddler, a horror roguelite where you attend a party with a friend only to lose them in a crowded house full of strangers, and you have to avoid inebriated people, awkward small talk, and confusing situations. Parentheses, when is hurdling over or near a coffee table a good idea? The horror party house is completely procedural, leading to hours of awkwardly scooting past strangers, repeating, excuse me, could you just make some space for me to, do you know if so-and-so is around here, to incoherent people. Thankfully, on new runs, you'll have items such as that one guy's lost shoe, one person's lost phone, the name of a solid pizza place for the group arguing what the best local pizza spot is. Will you successfully find your friend or get tired and head home alone because what kind of jerk, sorry, that's my timer for the last one we did. What kind of jerk ditches you in the moment in a completely new place with a bunch of people you don't know? Find out in Party of Despair. So it sounds like a roguelike where you are in a house party and have lost your friend and need to kind of assemble some adventure game type stuff to put it all together and find where your friend is.
I mean, JM, this seems right up your alley.
Being stuck at a party that I don't want to be at?
Yeah.
You've been reading my diary. Yeah, no, man, making small talk with strangers. I'm really curious. I want to play the game just so I can find the fucking dog or cat.
Can you pet the dog? Yeah.
Can you pet the pet the pup at the party? That game?
Like that.
Exactly.
Like if there's no dog at the party, I don't want to play this fucking game because I don't want to be at this party. But if there's at least a dog I can go to once in a while and be like, all right, I'm at the dog. I might be able to do this.
It's the social anxiety break.
Yeah.
This game sounds terrifying.
I have a tactic that I use at parties, especially industry ones where we go and there's like a lot of people you kind of know, right? Like, and this is not like that. This game sort of implies that you don't know anybody, which is almost like less stressful for me. It's almost more stressful when you kind of know people, like you've seen them, and my tactic at those, which I would say could be a power up here, is to enter, and the first person I see, I say goodbye to. And then as I'm saying goodbye to everybody, it takes you about 45 minutes. It takes you about 45 minutes to do that. You're like, oh, hi, I was just leaving. So glad I ran into you right before. So the tactic means that like anybody who meets you immediately says the thing they need to say because they know they're not going to see you again because you're just saying goodbye to people, right? And then you leave, but you haven't ghosted. You haven't made small talk because everybody's like saying to you the thing they wanted to say to you, and then you can leave, which is like, sorry, I just undid this game, but it works. So if you actually do have this anxiety, it is a respectful and effective way to
You just
navigate.
can't do it. You can't do it right after you walk through the front door and like see the first person and say goodbye.
No, you sort of like
You have to-
you kind of avoid eye contact and make it to the middle, and then you're golden. All you have to do is like, right?
Good tactic, yeah.
Felix, you're the
And
smartest
even the
person
people-
I've
the
ever
people
met.
who-
Holy shit.
No, yeah, it's the
fucking-
introvert's guide to shows. But like
Holy
people
strats.
who know you and know that you're doing the tactic aren't insulted. They're not insulted. Nobody's like, how dare you? Everybody's like, oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, you're just
I
leaving.
like it.
Totally.
I like it.
This game, I was doing fine until the moment you read out that sometimes you'll restart. First of all, you have to restart it, which is like the most horrifying part. Is this game is a roguelite, so you're just continually playing it. But the point where you were like, oh yeah, you might have an opinion. You get an item that is an opinion, so that when you end up in an argument, you end up in the kitchen because you're just trying to get through, and there's an argument happening over the best pizza place, and they put you on the spot, and they're like, hey, we know you live here. What's the best pizza place? And you're just like deer in headlights, ready to jump out a window, but there's no window, obviously. That made it very real and scary for me. That made it.
Felix, can I also highlight the fact that you just said the worst part about this game is that you have to keep playing it?
Yeah, I mean, there's that.
Well,
But that's how I feel about every horror game, right? Where I'm like, oh no, the worst part is that I'm compelled. So the selling point is you're compelled to play. It's
Yeah.
okay if it's the worst part. As long as it's the compelling part, that's okay. For a game pitch, at least.
I feel like this game actually has a lot of opportunity to not necessarily be like purely horror. And I'm not necessarily talking about from like a Five Nights at Freddy's sort of standpoint, but I feel like sort of like those the horror timeline in American Horror Story, where there was like a lot of camp, there was a lot of silliness. And so I feel like there's a lot of tropes that could be played with. So it's like the final boss is like the drunkest girl at the party, right? Like something kind of silly and ridiculous like that. And I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for more playfulness versus just sort of like exploiting social anxieties, right?
Yeah.
Like that I feel like is a little bit more compelling to me versus just like, oh, it's you're uncomfortable, LOL. Like, okay, great, we all are. Like, you know, my trick to not having a panic attack at parties, I don't go to parties. That's the easiest way to not do it, right? Like, great. So, sorry, go ahead.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think if it's done well, it has the potential to be super funny. And like you said, you could play with a lot of tropes. It could be ridiculous and fun. It also has to be procedurally generated because you're not going to want to hear the same, strings come up every single time that you have to go through it. But yeah, I mean, I think it does have the potential to be super fun. And you could play on some of those social anxiety tropes. You can build in a lot of really fun, interesting mechanics. But it does sound like a nightmare for people with social anxiety, and so you might turn a lot of people off in that sense.
I've been thinking about like you're trying to get out, you're trying to get from one place to another, get to your friend, and like shit happens. Like you're walking past someone who says very loudly an opinion that is too stupid not to refute. Like too just fucking awful to like let stand, and then it's no.
JM, what's one?
You have to go deal with that.
An opinion, just one opinion. I just want to know.
That's like a stupid opinion.
Yeah, I'm so curious.
Mad Max 4 is a good movie.
Okay, all right. Wow. Shot it right back at me.
On
That's
that
fair.
note,
Hi, Nigel.
Get out your skull, Anna.
Oh
Get
my
out your
God.
skull.
Oh
Protect
no!
yourself.
Dragon skull.
oh, Reb, why don't you take it away with another pitch?
All right, I will. This is actually from James Batchelor, one of my colleagues, and I totally knew he was going to pitch a James Bond thing. A real spy action RPG, proper James Bond stuff, but not focused on murdering hundreds of henchmen like all the 007 games so far. This would be focused on infiltration and investigation. Haven't got a title, so let's just go with Spy. Spy would be set entirely in one city in the surrounding area, a la GTA. No scripted missions as such. Instead, players start with a handful of leads to investigate. By By visiting these locations or questioning informants, you pick up clues, Outer Wilds style, hinting at other locations where you'll find more information. The more you learn, the more scenarios you would be able to create for yourself. For example, if you learn that an enemy agent is meeting someone for a handover at an allotted time, you could choose to intercept the person they're meeting and take their place, Hitman style, allowing you to either go through the handover in hopes of learning more or take down the enemy agent, perhaps dragging them back to your base, an apartment or hotel room, to interrogate them further. The game would have day and night cycles and an in-game calendar. Miss the appointment and you miss the opportunity. Your actions would have consequences. Get too close to the enemy's operations too often and they'll begin looking for you, even sending out spies to find you and report your location. Get compromised in or near your base and you'll have to find another. Get caught while infiltrating an enemy stronghold and you'll need to escape, but do so and you'll need to bring in backup to take the place down before they can clear it out. Once you've solved the overarching mystery and the credits have rolled, it's up to you to stop or clear out the last remaining hideouts and agents. Thank you, James.
That is a very well thought out game pitch.
Yet none of us can say anything.
Any other thoughts?
It sounds impossible to make.
Yeah.
Why does it sound impossible?
It sounds impossible.
Does he know
Scope-wise.
this is a game pitch and not a movie pitch?
Scope-wise, it sounds pretty impossible, right?
Yeah.
I'd need to see a hell of a vertical slice.
Mhm.
Because it's, I mean, if you know,
Is it also up against Hitman? Is it like directly up against the successful, like, not necessarily in goal, but in like infiltration and then coming up with interesting ways of solving things, and then it being relatively procedural and like, you know, that kind of thing. It's like, you know, it's not procedural, but you know what I mean? Not, yeah. I mean, that's a big competitor. Like, you know, if you're like, oh man, I'm gonna make a game that the only competitor is Hitman.
And Grand Theft Auto. They mentioned a Grand
Oh,
Theft
yeah,
Auto
sorry,
style
GTA.
city.
One level Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yeah. So
Right.
you're looking at
Yeah.
something pretty huge.
I don't have that kind of money, so I'm gonna bow out. So
I don't either. I wonder if it is like a scope thing. I wonder if it's just sort of scaling it down to like, it's really just a whole bunch of like tiny mini games that takes place in one world. I wonder if that would make it a little more plausible just from a scope perspective.
It almost seems like you'd want it to be like you've got this city and then you'd maybe want other players, part of other spy organizations that are trying to do their own thing. Like we've got to get, like Blue Team needs to get like to sell a disc to Red Team or something like that and make the drop in the park. And Sub Rosa is available now on Steam.
Oh, snap. So Rebekah, is there any chance that your coworker or colleague is actually going to make this game?
No.
Okay.
James, I love you when you listen to this, but I don't think he's going to write a book. He's probably not going to make a game.
Oh, he's going to write a book.
Yeah.
He's going to write a book about this?
He might. I don't know. He really, really likes James Bond.
No.
Yeah, well,
he really, really wants a good James Bond game.
Yeah. I don't blame him.
It's GoldenEye.
Well,
a new one. He loves a new one.
I think the idea of having a really solid espionage game is doable. I think you can do that, but having an open world espionage game where you're just kind of wandering around looking for clues for stuff to happen just doesn't seem like you really need to like have focus to be able to know where to go.
Yeah.
well, and the power fantasy of James Bond is a lot of like being suave and navigating space in a really interesting way and being like desirable and all this other stuff. And so it would need a lot of it without to not be boring or to not be like, oh, I have all this potential, but I don't know where to go next. It would need a lot of like very linear scripted. Which is antithetical to the whole open world part. So it's like a little bit in conflict with itself when it comes to that. Not to get too
you want
serious
some
about
sort of character development happening, yeah.
Which you can have. I mean, like I guess like The Witcher or Skyrim or any big game, you know, shows that you can have that.
All have narrative and a plot and cutscenes and
It's big. This game's very big.
Huge.
I would say that like I'm going to look to our publishers here to give me confirmation on this, but I do feel like sometimes it's better to have a larger scope when you're pitching versus a smaller scope because it's easier to kind of scale back than ramp up. Am I correct in that or no?
Well, for us, when we're looking at games, we're most often looking, like Jam said, we're looking at a prototype or a vertical slice. And, we want proof that there is a working gameplay loop and that it's a good and fun experience. And, so sometimes you do need to have a much narrower scope and able to prove out that gameplay loop. Otherwise, that would be a massive endeavor to try to include a game like this into a vertical slice.
Fair.
So, but all publishers work differently. I'd say it depends, but for us, that's how we operate when we're looking at games.
Cool.
Yeah,
Same.
I mean, same. It's. I think it's easier to come up with an idea than to make a game.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, and this is a lot of fun. It's like come up with an idea, pitch a game. I mean, this sounds like an amazing fucking game. If we had millions and millions of dollars lying around, and it was a large team, and they had the chops to pull it off. If they could make it, that'd be fucking cool as shit. I think like a really low key spy game, really get into the espionage, get into keeping it on the down low, and things like if you're found out, maybe you don't even know that you've been found out. The other organization starts fucking with you, and you don't even know that you're on the bad list because it's a spy game. They're not going to let you know that you fucked up. They're like, oh shit, now we've got tabs on you. Now you're giving us information. So. I mean, for something like this, where we can just say that's fucking awesome, it's fucking awesome. But if you're looking for a real thing, yeah, you've got to be able to actually make the game.
I think this game does work as a clicker, as an online. I think it works as an online browser-based multiplayer experience. I do think it does. I think the idea of searching through a fake wiki or searching through a fake archive while other people are also doing it is a very, very cool idea. And I know I just scoped this down to literally text-based, but I think it really stands up.
Hypnospace
cool.
Outlaw just happened, and Hypnospace Outlaw is fucking amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't Hypnospace Outlaw is exactly what Felix just said. It is this game, but browser-based clicker.
Right. And then
weird internet.
Right, weird internet. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, well, congratulations on pitching Hypnospace Outlaw.
Somehow.
I'm gonna try and make every single pitch into a browser-based clicker at this point. So I apologize. I'm on that track now. So
love it.
Eric, what's the next one?
Oh, this next one I picked out because I wanted to make sure we got to it because it's the one I saw in the Google Doc and was like, yes, we need to talk about this one. This comes from Steve. He says, whose shoes are these? You play a confused father who has a wife and 2 kids. He can't figure out who all these shoes he keeps finding belong to. Is it friends and family, or perhaps anything more sinister?
Ship it. I don't know.
I mean, seriously.
That's the pitch.
Done.
We're gonna get into a bidding war.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Oh man, yeah.
What is there to talk about?
That might still be a spy game.
Just start merging all the game ideas.
Yeah. Okay. So now take it into a city, basically one level of GTA. It's a whole city. It's got.
You got to find the shoes.
Shoes. Just whose shoes are they?
Oh God, shoes.
Nobody knows. Shoes.
Great.
All dating ourselves there. Ooh.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great game.
That's
One over.
Does anybody want to get more feedback on that?
Steve, you're killing it. Beating you, Steve.
Yeah, I mean that
It's
was
a perfect game.
Looks like Steve.
perfectly wrapped with the bow on top. There's no feedback.
Also, this is definitely in the city episode.
I'm sure that was what Steve was before.
I mean, I call it
Doesn't matter. He went there.
You
Yeah.
call it like it is. Yeah.
This is as a mobile phone AR game. And suddenly
Yeah,
shoes in your house.
Oh my
You're like,
God.
oh shit, whose shoes
What
are
are
these? Like dings, like, oh, you found a pair of pumps.
Every time I walk out, all every point one click, you got a new pair of shoes. You gotta find it.
All right.
Go.
This is from, we're probably going to start moving into taking Discord as Jess is here in a moment. This one I think is from someone who's watching right now because it was submitted to the Google form while the panel was going on. This is from Bradley. You live in a world where, through years of subtle coercion, cats have been given legal status equal or even greater to those of humans. The cats have become mad with power and are making demands. You, as a human, must now please wave after wave of cats with food and gifts, represented by mini games and special items, or else suffer the consequences. These consequences come in the form of lawyer cats, who descend to issue legal action in adorable but oppressive business suits and legal folios. The game then enters a courtroom phase where you must defend yourself, or else suffer fees or punishment at the hands of their tiny paws via branching dialogue trees. The name, Neko Don't Sue Me. Neko Atsumi.
Yeah. Rebekah's cracking up right now.
It's about 6 games.
Yeah,
But-
Felix, I need you to talk me through how this is a clicker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got to
Mhm.
click to keep the cat
Mhm.
entertained, like click over
It's
here and then
it's
click over
it's
there.
more like Frog Fractions, right? Where the clicker game is the initial conceit for the cats rising to power and gaining status. Where you think you're just playing Neko Atsume type game, and you think that's what you're doing, but really you're actually planning the next phase of the game, which is that the cats then take over. And at that point, it's more like a Cooking Mama or like a management game where you're trying to like create the gifts and hand them over, and then you fail that game. That game's meant to be failed. That's like that stage 2 does not work out for anybody. You're meant to fail it, which ignites stage 3, which is Phoenix Wright, except it's cats. I can't come up with a pun right now, but I know there's one there. And it's cat attorney, ace cat attorney. We'll get there. It's fine. I'll come back to it. Feline Right. Oh, we're close. Anyway, then I guess that one's also you're meant to fail. What was the win case? I know what was the end of the game, Reb? Was there an end? No.
Oh, wait. Oh, the end of I thought you were asking me about Ace Attorney's ending, which I do.
I remember Ace Attorney's ending. Don't worry.
I don't remember well enough. Let me scroll up. The game then enters a courtroom phase where you must defend yourself or else suffer fees or punishment at the hands of their tiny paws via branching dialogue trees.
It seems like it only gets worse.
Yeah, it's Cat Fractions. It just keeps getting worse. You're right.
Fractions.
Yeah.
Are the cats good or bad?
Yeah. Great question.
I actually can't tell.
Well, to whom?
The cats.
Yeah, like I understand that they're essentially
To the cats, obviously.
Right, to the cats. Great.
they're the cats. Oh my God.
77 says the cat civilization is taking over. You need to undermine their civilization, prevent them from reaching the stars. Sorry, that was someone in Twitch chat.
So we've combined pitch one,
Bashing 'em up.
wherever
I don't
we're
think
at.
the person in Twitch chat is the person who submitted the pitch. To be fair,
No, that's just
Not the
a
same person.
random person. I just
Oh,
saw
okay.
that and I was like, all right.
They're
I also
now on
got
this
fired
panel,
in the
so-
Twitch chat, so
Are the cats good or bad is a question I ask myself all the time with my cats here at home.
Yeah, same.
I'm super
Same.
allergic to cats, so to me, all cats are bad.
I mean, they
I'm
torture
warming
the
up to
things
them.
they catch.
I'm warming up to them, but they don't really like it, and I don't blame them.
They're
You
not
know-
wrong.
You haven't met a lawyer cat yet.
Yeah,
Their
you know?
ostentatious little cat suit.
there's a Ghibli movie.
Little
about this,
cat
by the way.
briefcase.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
that's pretty.
knock their little briefcase around.
When they try to get the papers
Not-
out, they just start
yeah.
like.
The judge cat's just knocking the gavel off. And, yeah.
I'm curious to know when does a laser get introduced? Is
That's
that,
how you beat them. You're a
Yeah,
genius.
like-
You're a
That's
genius.
the clicker.
That's the clicker.
I love it.
Ah.
Eric, do we have some Discord pitches that we can get into?
We do. We have one here from I'm going to pronounce this terribly. Ovoke Jam. The battle royale genre will never die. In fact, even in death, it will still shuffle along like a zombie. ... Like the corpses of all those who have fallen in relentless pursuit of being number one. But in undeath, how do you freshen up this stale genre? That's right, mix it up with a visual novel. Presenting Zom Rom Com 99. The 99 corpses that didn't get their victory royale now engage in a new fight, finding love. Set your zombies' hobbies, search the map for gifts, ask out other zombies on dates. If your date goes well, you survive another round. If the spark of romance fizzles out, so do you. At the end, only 3 will still be sort of standing. Whoever matches the best gets that romantic chicken dinner if they still have teeth.
I'm sold. I love it.
So wait, what is this game exactly?
The 99 people in like a battle royale game who all died get brought back as zombies and now have to date each other to see who is the Casanova among the crew.
But okay.
Are there 99 players?
Yeah, I'm like, what is the Yeah, I'm just still trying to figure this one out.
If this is multiplayer or not. It said visual novel.
It said visual novel, right?
Yeah,
so what's going on here?
Novel.
What's going on here?
I think that's just the lore. I think the lore is that every one of those characters died in a battle royale before you met them, and I don't know who you are yet, so I don't know if you're the person that won and now there's nothing to do. Like, you got your chicken dinner and at the end you were like, now what? And all of the players that you killed to get here, not you directly, but died to get here, are now trying to smooch you.
Got it. Okay.
Is it from a bunch of I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Joe.
I was gonna ask if it was from a bunch of different from like all the different battle royale games.
Yeah,
it could be old battle royales or
well, you've got like Fortniters and you've got PUBGers, like maybe they're on a date, and then you've got Fall Guys available now in there as well. So like, do they have like the different interactions? Like, do you get different stats based on like what's like? I'm intrigued. I'm into it.
I'm not kissing a Fall Guy.
Zombie Fall Guy.
No,
come on.
JM, where are you going? JM.
Yeah, no, he's left the building. He's gone.
Yeah. No, thank you. I
one way to offend JM.
What is he bringing back?
Just himself.
I was worried he was going to bring back a Fall Guy.
Actual Fall Guy.
I wish I had one. That'd be great.
No.
JM, your background's giving me post-PAX stress disorder.
Can you smell?
I can.
I
can.
I
can.
I hate that I can. I hate that I can.
I can taste it. The moistness of the air, truly.
I can hear the sound of like distant air horns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just Brooklyn.
Beats. Yeah.
Just shakes and beats.
Don't even talk to me about I love those guys, but my booth has been across from them every year for 3 years. And I can only dance to the Mortal Kombat theme song so many times. Yeah. And I have reached my quota.
But Mike still gives you donuts, right? You still get the free donuts from Mike.
Yes, thank God. Okay. I didn't know about them for the first 2 years. Someone had to tell me about them, and then I had to sneak back there and be like, I get one of these donuts for listening to the Mortal Kombat theme song this many times. Anyway, they're lovely. I shouldn't complain. But
I mean, it's intentional. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're good at it. They're really good at it. Yeah, it attracts people from all over. And
so the Zom Rom-Com 99.
Sorry, yes.
I actually think there's something interesting there where it's like you kind of do have different battle royale like zombies, because there's like a little bit of a Romeo and Juliet sort of aspect there, right? Like there's a little bit of additional danger. I think that's kind of cool. I think that's a fun thing to play with because it adds like the dating thing. I think can get a little bit old because you're like, okay, well I have 99 different people to pick from, and maybe I need to like swipe, or I don't know how dating apps work, but like, you know, whatever you need to do. So kind of like the idea of adding a little bit of flavor in there with like, this is the Fortnite group, this is the PUBG group, this is the Fall Guys group, like whoever those like sort of battle royale kind of characters are, and adding a little bit of like drama there. Like there's a lot of storytelling that you could really kind of like dive into.
Yeah, I like it.
Good luck with licensing.
Yeah.
Hope you got a big licensing budget.
Make sure it's still on Apple too. Oh wait.
Okay. Anyway.
Grab on to the next.
Yeah. Another one from the Discord chat. This is from Kaiser parentheses Zach. You are a bagger at a grocery store for adventurers. They have purchased all their goods to go out into the world and fight monsters and explore dungeons. But it's your job to organize those items in their inventory. Think Diablo 2 or the Resident Evil franchise. You can rotate and move things in and out to get them the best gear possible, and then they go out and succeed or fail depending on what challenges they face and what you've been able to package for them. The levels are effectively days at your shift, and you can reinvest your earnings to make your job easier, investing in bigger bags, the ability to rotate goods, etc. Still workshopping a name. Thank
Felix?
you,
I'm so on board. I'm on board. I'm okay. Level. I'm sorry to talk a lot here, but I have a passion for inventory games. I love them. I think they're good. I think they're fun. I worry. You had me up until the moment that I realized they would pass or fail. The characters would live or die according to how well I packed their bag. That's very stressful. That's very sad and stressful. It's okay if you just don't tell me anything about yourself. That's fine. Then I'm not attached to you. But if I get to know you before I pack your bag, and then I send you out there and you die because I did not equip you with a banana, who knows, a needle and thread, then I'm gonna, is it procedural? Do I get to try again? Do I know what to, maybe it's a, oh boy.
Didn't we learn earlier that we throw out the needle and thread and keep the paperweight?
No, you keep the
lighter.
Lighter.
Or keep the
lighter in the
keep the needle and thread. You keep the needle and thread.
Keep the needle and thread.
Yeah.
You throw out the lighter.
That's very small. I mean, I
small.
Yeah, they're unuseful. I'm with Felix on that. If it's a pass or fail thing and they immediately die, based on my packing, that's kind of harsh. But like if the warrior comes back and he's beat to shit because I put all of his health potions at the bottom of the pack and he couldn't get to them in time.
Great.
Or something like that. Like if I didn't let them know about the discount on torches, then they only got like a little way into their dungeon and they didn't get enough loot, so they're a little frustrated. I could see like a story building from that as being really fun and compelling.
I feel like this is basically just supermarket sweep Hunger Games. And I'm like really into that. And I also just feel like, I'm sorry to always try to put like humor into this, but I just feel like there's a lot of like catch lines or like catchphrases that could be said here. Like, what do I do with this guacamole? I don't know, something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of,
that's a classic. That's a classic catchphrase.
I don't know.
What happened?
What do I do with this guacamole? Like, I don't know, something silly or ridiculous. But there's something really compelling about this. It's interesting. Supermarket sweep Hunger Games. Like
I think especially if you can build a relationship over time and like make it funny and then watch them grow and get better and watch them succeed and take on bigger things overall. And there's something to be said for like NPCs in video games that do nothing but support the main character and not playing the pro tag in that way. It's always interesting to me as a concept. It's not normally like sustainable for an entire game because of course it is menial and kind of like repetitive over time, but the idea of being the support person who's just there to hopefully help you in some way or even better, like not hinder you. It's not even that you're trying to be helpful, you're just trying to actively not hinder the hero at the end of the day and just provide them with what they need. That's got some cool, that's like really cool concept, and it makes for like a different story that has a point of difference by far. So
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, it's pretty unique. And I like the idea. Also, there could be a bunch of different threads, different characters, different personalities that you kind of get to experience, and you kind of witness their journey through the inventory that you're providing them. So that's cool.
It's a little like Don't Starve.
Yeah. It's like OKKO.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen OKKO, but it's like OKKO and then like Don't Starve combined with that, where you're kind of just playing the people in the grocery store. There's like big heroes around you all the time. You're not really one of them. You probably aspire to be one, right? You're probably dreaming about it. I would love it too if there were like sequences while you're packing. Sometimes you're just daydreaming about being a hero and then you're not at all. You just like, you get slapped upside the head or whatever by your manager and you're back to reality. Love that. Love it.
That would be really, I like the scene in What Remains of Edith Finch where the guy is chopping the heads off fish and on the other half of the screen, he's going through his adventure game. And so you can kind of like go on your little adventure, but then also you're trying to pack the bags at the same time. And if you pay too much attention to one, you might.
That's cool.
I just like that a lot. That's really cool.
That's fun. Yeah.
Plus.
I think that's going to do it. I think we're right about it time here. So Red, do we want to wrap it up here?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so this was Video Game Shark Tank. Sorry if we didn't get to your pitches. There ended up being quite a few of them, especially once Discord got in there. They were all wonderful. They were all 10 out of 10 games, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Thank you all so much. Thank you so much to Shane, Anya, JM, and Felix for joining us and doing this. You all were absolutely fantastic. This was great. Enjoy your PAX Online, everybody.
Thank
Thanks so much for having
Thanks
us.
for setting us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Brianna Taylor, say her name.